Welcome back, everybody, to the show. I am your host, as always, Jay Villain, aka That Villain Jay, and with me, my co-host, the co-council member, the co-head of the council, the Black Council here on the podcast, the numbest of skulls.
Hey guys,
Mr. Numbskull. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. You know him, you love him. There he is. We are here on the verge of Mesoamerican vampire goodness.
Yeah.
We're doing it. Ixalan is coming, and by the time that you probably, if you're early access for patrons, you'll probably see this a few days before. You might see this a day or two before we go live with our early access invitation. So we're going to be doing, a full day of early access, being able to play with the cards. We get me, myself, Jay Villain, and the Numbers of Skulls over there both have early access to Ixalan. I'll be making videos. I'm sure Numbskull will be streaming early access.
Yes, sir.
So you only have to wait a little bit longer to see how these cards play out. And then, of course, the new Ixalan set will drop. I believe it's November 14th, if I remember correctly. Yes, November 14th. So
is that like a Tuesday or something?
it's a Tuesday, yeah. So
okay.
We are on the cusp of vampires, dinos, and pirates. Oh my. Sure, merfolk are there too, but they're simics, so they don't count as a real faction.
Yeah, we don't talk about those.
And it is a tradition. I think we've done this for maybe 5 or 6 sets already, that we choose our top 10 and then the master card, which is our top 11. The number 1 card, me and Numbskull are both looking forward to. So we agree on these. We go back and forth because a lot of times we double pick a card. So these are our collective top 10. Each of us pick 5, and then we do a top 10, and then we do 1 master card that is the most anticipated, most powerful card that we are looking forward to. You'll never guess what it is in this set.
You guys have no idea.
You have no idea what me and Numbskull, what card we could possibly want to pick as our favorite, most anticipated card. There's no way. Chat, comments, you'll never guess it. Okay, if you've ever watched any of our videos or know anything about us, you'll never even be able to figure it out. So don't even try.
It's funny how you say about like how we have like we cross whatever like with our cards. Like we literally started probably 5 or 10 minutes late because I had to pick a new card.
Yeah, because
Jay and I picked like at least 2 or 3 of the same one.
Yeah, so I mean, we've done it before where we'll be like, oh, we both need to pick a new one, and we'll come back with pick the same one again. Like, we'll have picked a new one that's the same one again. So it's part of the reason we started the Black Council. We have very similar play styles, and we like certain cards. So you're not going to see a lot of blue on this list. I don't think there's any blue. You're not going to see, this new card lets you counter spell and draw 3 cards. That's not, if you're looking for that.
That's our card 0 right there.
Yeah, that's I don't even think I looked at what was coming out in blue unless it was also mixed with black. So
I'm not gonna lie, this one lets you, the Mythic Spoiler lets you sort by color, and I didn't click on blue.
I think I probably did one time, but I don't even think I looked at the new blue ones, man.
I should have, maybe should have looked a little bit more, but I see stuff. I saw something got reprinted that I didn't ever want to see again. I thought, like, didn't they reprint a Counterspell or something?
Yeah, they also reprinted some
what did they reprint? A Dead Weight.
They reprinted cool. They reprinted a couple of things. They reprinted an Angel too, which was interesting. I never
Resplendent Angel. Yeah. Not bad.
But yeah, there's a lot of at least there's some sea monsters and some other merfolk, but either way, not a lot of blue on this list. I'd click off now if you're like, I can't wait to see these blue cards. Probably not going to happen. We do have every other color.
Go watch a Jim Davis video or something.
There you go.
He has a one for just blue.
So yeah, not a lot of control going on here. So with that all being said, our podcast is brought to you by Patreons. This is supported by viewers like you, just like PBS. And as we like to do, we like to thank our patrons for sponsoring us. We know we haven't been keeping as such hard upload schedule as we were previously. However, we're trying our best. We have been very busy these last couple of days, but we are trying to at least put out an episode a month. The good thing is you only get charged when we put up a new episode. So if you were only putting out an episode a month, hey, if you're only pledging $1 an episode, it only costs you $1 a month to support us, or $2 a month. So it's whatever you want to pledge. It's however you want to. You can even set a maximum. You can say, I don't ever want to pledge more than, $2 a month or something. Anything that you'd like to do is up to you. So we are more than happy.
Good about giving you control over
exactly
how much you spend, and still giving you lots of access to, aside from them, ensuring that you get access to everything that others get access to. We give you guys a lot of stuff for just that $1 an episode or $1 a month even. We always say that it's about, for us, we want a volume because it is the council. So we want it to be easy for people to join and not like a financial burden, just a little something to say for you guys are saying, hey, I support you, and in turn we'll take care of you pretty nice.
Absolutely, we're more than happy to. You get access to the exclusive Patreon, Discord. You get to suggest stuff. I think people wanted a lore video about Ixalan. I think we're going to try to make that our next one.
We'll have to get on that.
We're going to have to do a lore video for, and we're also trying to get an exclusive interview with a couple other. We have a talk with a couple other creators to do interviews. So,
that's true.
You can suggest things. We try to follow stuff, and eventually we're going to get that tournament together when we get some free time. I think we got to do it. So definitely.
We have to figure that out still.
So either way, if you help support us, you also get to see the video early. I want to thank our patrons, read out who helped us support this program here. We have Metal Mechanic, Eclipse, Notorious D, Deadfast, Frank E. Let's see here, Thorsten, Argent Icon, Szechuan Anon, The Clash, a live action RPG, Van Breams, Xylo Beast, Great Xylo Beast, Jamel Zilla, Trexodactyl, Lord Gypticus, the Flipticus, Mamulian, Cassius, Nickelnuts, H-Man, Ulfir, Dante Valentine, My Name is Steve, and Paradabo, of course.
That's awesome.
Can't forget him. So thank you to all of our patrons who are actively supporting. If you were a patron and you fell off, maybe come back for $1. We're going to try to start increase our upload schedule. We're at least doing once a month. We're going to try to get back to our breakneck speed of maybe 2 or 3 a month. We'll see. It's whatever. It's up to you guys too. So we're going to do our best there. And aside from that, we're going to jump right into our top 10. This is I wish we had done another episode because I wanted to kind of talk about I don't know if you saw our good friend of the channel, Max, talking about how there wasn't like a Latin American ambassador when they're doing a full Latin American themed Mesoamerican theme set.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
Yeah. So, so that was kind of something we wanted to discuss, get a little nitty gritty with that one. Because we have a lot of, it's heavily Mesoamerican themed is what it is. It's explorers, conquistadors, dinosaurs, all kind of stuff. We're both, what was that?
I was just going to say, it's also like, I think Spanish is like the second most popular language in Magic, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, definitely like in America, and definitely a very popular language around the world. But I think in regards to what's the next most popular language cards are printed in, I believe it's Spanish.
I have a lot of Portuguese viewers. Like that's like my third most watched. Portuguese. I see Brazil and Portugal a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people do play Magic in Brazil. I did notice that.
It's pretty big. So kind of surprising. We would have been happy to do it. I believe we're both Latin American. We would have been happy to do whatever.
Sign me up,
am Numbskull. You're Puerto Rican?
Right.
Yeah, I am Chilean. So we are both. So Wizards, if you're listening to this, I'm just saying. Okay.
Your ambassadors are right here.
You've got some LATAM ambassadors. I grew up outside the United States.
Yeah, and I believe Max Damage is from Mexico. So
he is. Yeah, he was literally.
He's
not
an incredibly viable candidate as well.
Exactly. I am bilingual as well. I was born in Detroit, but I did not live. I graduated high school in Panama. That's where my high school certificate is.
That's where my mom graduated high school, actually.
Yeah. A lot of people. So yeah, I have, despite being born in the United States, I have rich Latin American roots, and I would have been more than happy to discuss the rich culture of Latin America. Alas, my Discord remained unrung, and as did Numbskulls.
As did any other Latin American individual.
Again, we're just confused why we didn't get an outreach. That's all. We're not mad. We're just sad.
Or just anyone for the matter. It doesn't have to be us, even though we wouldn't turn it down. But someone in the Latin American community. I'm sure there are. I think what's his name, Blue Robot, is a pretty big Latin American magic.
He's good. Dollarzine, I watch him as well. Okay, he's pretty good. Give him a shout out there. But yeah, anyways, we got Latin Americans, we got conquistadors, we got dinos, we got sun temples. The whole thematic thing is happening here. Very unsubtle builds in this. I noticed that all of the conquistadors were literal blood-sucking demons. So yeah, very very nice. That's very soft-handed writing. So that's fun. But
I like that.
Yeah, it's a very subtle nod. Anyways, we will get going with our top 10. Numbskull, do you want to pick what your first pick is? Do you want to go first? You want to throw it to me?
Yeah. I'll go first here.
Okay.
We're gonna start it off. This card, the colloquial phrase I've coined for this is better Dreadbore reprint. Quotation marks. So it is a black and a red like Dreadbore. It is sorcery speed like Dreadbore. And it says choose one. If you descended this turn, you may choose both instead. And if descending means if a permanent card was put into your graveyard from anywhere. So that is noteworthy because a lot of people say, oh, when you sack your token, it goes to the graveyard. No, this has to be a card though. No, you know what I mean? No screwing around there. So that's something to keep an eye on. But regardless, it's not too hard to descend. There's graveyard stuff going on, this and that. You know what I mean? So that's pretty solid. So it's pretty easy to light up both modes of this, which is why I say it's better Dreadbore.
And what is the name of the card, by the way?
Sorry, yes. Molten Collapse.
There we go.
My apologies. And the first mode is destroy target creature or planeswalker, which is what Dreadbore did. Or does, I should say. But the other mode is destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. So that could hit some interesting stuff. You know what I mean? Non-creature, non-land with 1. It could hit like people are making tokens of artifacts. There are planeswalkers that have. Well, I guess the planeswalkers don't have what do you call it? A mana value 1 or less. I guess the token would still be mana value 3. But there are some unique things that you can just kill with that. Yeah. That are, it just kind of helps out, and it's just nice to have both. And it's one of those like, okay, you're killing the creature with the planeswalker. That's all you really needed it for. But who knows when you might just need this really random thing.
Well, it's modal. I mean, you have that ability. I like any kind of flexibility. I call them Swiss Army knives,
Yeah, so, there's your kind of like Rakdos modal removal. It's really nice.
And of course, tokens are mana value 1 or less. So if someone is token spamming or they're making copies of something, easy removal there.
Right, yeah. And so, the tokens, it's just, it is a non-token or non-creature, non-land. So it is a little particular, but you're going to be able to take out some stuff that you think might bother you, So I think it's good. It's already good just because Dreadbore says the same thing, but now basically it also says, hey, you can do more stuff if you want. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. It's okay. It's better than Dreadbore. It's a great card,
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I mean, Rakdos removal is just, it's gonna sing as if we didn't have enough removal yet. So
yeah,
everyone knows currently removal is in such a bad spot. There's just nothing out there for removing cards.
Yeah, I did see something that said they said like 60% of the cards that are coming out die to a braid.
I know. It's a problem. And the funny
Because
thing is,
either all the artifacts or like creatures are all like so many, even a lot of the high mana cost ones, their toughness isn't higher than 3. So it's just so easy to kill shit, you know.
The funny thing is they have a braid and we already have a braid. They did not plan this with rotation in mind.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We know they didn't. We know that they thought rotation until the next year. Until the next rotation is they thought that these were all going to be gone. So they reprinted a braid, thinking that a braid would rotate out. So they really wanted it in there.
I think we can say that about like the last couple sets. Is like I think they kind of expected stuff to be gone by now, pretty much.
Yep.
So that is kind of noteworthy for sure. That you know, unfortunately, some stuff isn't kind of like overlapping or lining up the greatest, and it's. But I guess that's maybe a concession that you make when you make the decision that hey, we're gonna extend, you know, the card pool by a year. Basically.
Yeah. So. Okay, so I'm gonna go with my number 5, which is really good, and I wanted to bring this one up because it's anti-control, which we all appreciate around here.
Ooh.
And I hate control. Everybody hates control. And there's so much control in the game. This is going to really put a damper on it, especially supporting tribal decks. And that is going to be Cavern of Souls. This is a land. I think it's the first time I've picked a land as being one of my cards. But man, this is good. Okay, so it's a land. It enters the battlefield. You choose a creature type. Okay, so this is tribal support. You can add 1 colorless mana. It doesn't come in tapped. It just comes in. And then the other ability is you can add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast creatures of the chosen type, and that spell cannot be countered. Yikes, bro. 4 of them, I think, are an auto-include in any tribal deck. You're running vampires, you're running merfolk, you're running dinosaurs, you're running angels. Any tribal deck, you're just going to say, hey, vampires, guess what? No vampires getting countered. If they're trying to run mono blue lockout and they're just trying to do everything, every spell's not going to be countered. It's going to break a lot of blue players' hearts, and that's basically why I load up the game at this point. Is to break players' hearts. So it's also a cavern, which also is a new kind of card that is going to have like a certain type of effect, I think, or a cave. Or no, it's not a cave. I think caves. Oh, it's just a cavern. I'm sorry, it's not a cave, which is a new thing.
But also I noticed this is a reprint. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I just think that right now it's there's so much Azorius, there's so much Esper, there's so much mono blue. I just think we needed this right now, and it's going to be an auto include. I think until people learn that it's going to be hard to play one of those lockouts where you just can't do it unless you're running land destruction. You know, okay, so maybe you try, is it land destruction to get rid of it? But can you get rid of all of them? And you can get rid of all of them quick enough that I can cast the spells. So it is going to be an arms race, and I think it is going to shake things up.
I love that it's non-legendary too. That definitely makes it.
You can have 4 of them.
Much more playable, I think. Yeah.
Just on its own for the tribal support of making anything for any color tribal.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to generate anything that you want for a certain tribe, and then. And then on top of that, having the uncounterable ability, love it.
Quick detour here. I think the tribal versus typal thing is stupid. Sorry,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't. I don't see. I've called like, I don't know. People use that all the time. Oh yeah, you're part of our tribe. You know, like. People use clan and tribe like. As part of family, you know what I mean? Like I don't
yeah, I mean I could see clan, but like tribe, like they weren't really ever anything bad. So like okay, like there's not a tribe that's like the freaking KKK, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
I don't.
And the groups of people who use the term tribe use that to refer to themselves. So it's just like I just want to really know who came up with the idea that it was bad. It feels like it wasn't. It feels like the person that came up with it wasn't one of the people who's supposed to be offended by the phrase.
Yeah,
I'll just put it that way. So that translates to just like performative.
Yeah,
like,
it's
you know,
it's a
guilt,
little silly.
kind of guilt driven, just doing too much, you know.
Yeah.
So, sorry, just had to say
No,
that because
I mean,
I know
it's-
sometimes
I feel like
sometimes
it's
when you say that nowadays, people are like, oh, isn't it typo now? It's like
type. I don't
honestly,
know.
I'm
I've
gonna
been
keep
saying
saying
tribal
tribal,
for
dude.
so long, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anybody who it bothers, but there we go.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going on Mesoamerican, it's like Latinx. I don't know a single Latin person that likes Latinx either.
No, they don't, because it's not a word, and it's
Yeah.
something that they once again that they didn't make up.
Yeah, and
You know
also
what
if
I
you
mean?
wanted to be gender neutral, just say Latin. You don't have to add an O or an A. Just say Latin. Just say Latin American.
They put X in there. It sounds cool and young, and
I don't know. And so
vote for me. I like Latinx.
Yeah, I don't get that one. None of anyone in my Latin family understands it. Anyways,
Yeah.
a little detour there. It's on you, man. What do you got up next for us, Numbest of Skulls?
I got all right. Let me find my next one here.
We digress pretty good.
Yeah. Is it this guy? Yeah, here we go. Okay. Wait, why did it do that? Hold on. Sorry, 1 second.
Sure, no problem.
The website is not doing this right now. Okay, here we go. Wait, no, that's not it either. Why is this happening?
Why is this
The
happening?
card is Gishoth. Hold on, let me just go back to the main page here and find it the old-fashioned way. Here he is. Okay, so it is Gishoth's son's avatar.
There we go.
He has a 7/6 now. It does cost 8 mana, but so does the new Galta.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he's a reprint too, but heck of a card.
Oh yeah.
So he's like 5 mana and then Naya colors, which is kind of cool. And then he is a legendary. He's a dinosaur avatar, so that's noteworthy. Still a dinosaur. So he's a 7/6. He's got vigilance, trample, haste. So already that for 8 mana is considered like good. And then whenever he whenever he deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put any number of dinosaur creature cards from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. So I'm loving this. It's like
if you feel like
Cascade, basically.
Yeah, if you feel like, hey, I'm not getting enough out of my Atali.
Yeah. How about I just play one for free?
Yeah.
With my card the other card that lets me play stuff for free.
Yeah, I want more Atali all the time. So yeah, Dinosaur is gonna be out of control, man.
Yeah. What's that one? And I think it's rotated. It's like Weathered Runestone or whatever, something like that. Like cards can't enter the battlefield from libraries and graveyards or something like that.
Yeah, well, in Alchemy you have Boromir does that, believe it or not. A lot of people forget that. If you're gonna pay, if you're playing something without paying its mana cost, it gets countered.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, what if you're quote unquote putting it onto the battlefield? Is it still?
If I don't know if it's putting on the battlefield. I know that one says whenever you can play something for 0 cost.
For 0, okay.
So like,
I think that
multiverse.
stops Atali, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And it stops multiverse. So just putting on the battlefield,
yeah,
I don't know if it stops all the way. I have to double check.
I know that's always like their workaround for cards like that or for abilities like that, But yeah, I think it's good. It'd be hard to get rid of, but it also just like I love that we're encouraging the tribal thing because there's not in standard right now. There's not really a tribe that's like good.
Yeah, I mean fairies is okay.
Fairies is okay. Vampires were good for a second.
Yeah, they're still okay, but again, removal is such the issue.
Yeah. I don't know if you see the comments on Gishoth.
What
the
site?
First one on Mythic Spoiler.
I'm on Goldfish.
Okay. It says, "Oh wow, they're just straight up reprinting Gishoth. Weirdly, was not expecting that." And the immediate reply was, "You don't change perfection."
There you go.
So I guess people really enjoyed this card.
They like Gishoth. He's a dude. They got Gishoth's son in there too. So
okay, I must have missed that.
Yeah, it's Iquizal, son of descendant of Gishoth.
Is that a multicolor card too?
Yeah, it's a Gruul, I believe.
Oh, is that the one that's in like Japanese or whatever?
I think it should be out.
It's Quinth, firstborn of Gishoth. Yeah,
Quinth, yeah, it's Quinth.
Oh yeah, that's cool actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a fun little ability for its. Yeah, I mean, and I like that. I don't know if you'll put it up here for them to see if you're able to.
Well, bonus card.
Yeah, bonus card for you guys. Not that we think he's like amazing, but it's a 2/3 for 2 with haste, and then the ability to pay 2 to basically do like a little like fight spell. It's like deal damage equal to its powered to target creature.
And that's cool. It adds to the story of Gishoth too that he got to have a little baby.
Okay, I like that, and I also love the concept of, because it always felt like similar to dragons, like it's harder to get one out on turn 2 just to like start the whole like dragon process, dinosaur, because they're considered such big things that it's
powerful end game creatures. Yeah,
that you don't really like start to get effective ones until like turn 4 or possibly turn 3 if you ramp successfully. But like they're all 4 mana and up, where this is now we're starting it for 2 mana. And that seems cool. That was part of the reason that werewolves were halfway decent, because you
had some early wolves,
1, 2, and 3, and that's why they could be aggressive. So the fact this guy has haste, that allows you to be kind of aggressive too.
Yeah.
So I definitely like it.
Definitely have some good starter stuff.
Yeah, and I think as in draft as a blocker, solid card. So yeah, definitely
all around pretty good.
Yeah, Gishoth's got some good genes.
Very good genes. They're Levi's.
them Dino Levi's.
What was I gonna say?
What, your 4th now?
Yeah. Speaking of dinosaurs, if we could stay on this, if we could keep on topic real quick.
Yes, let's.
I gotta talk about, you talked about dragons. Why not both? Porquelos no dos. I messed that up. I speak Spanish better than I'm being humorous right now, so don't make fun of me. Don't make fun of me in the comments. Don't do it. All right. So we have Bonehorde Dracosaur. Yeah.
Okay.
Bonehorde Dracosaur is going to be a dinosaur dragon, 2 red and 3. It's a 5-drop, but it's flying and first strike, 5/5. And at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your libraries. You may play them this turn. If you exile the land card, you get a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. If you exile the non-land card, you create a treasure token.
Dinosaur dragon.
So we're talking about turn 5. He's giving you 2 cards to play. Whatever cards you got, you may end up with 2 treasures. You may end up with 2 3/1 dinosaurs or 1 of 1. Land or non-land. You can also play those cards. It's not like you put them in your graveyard. You can play them. It's kind of like a Ren's Resolve. Like, it gives you 2 exiled cards to play. And then depending on what you showed, you're either getting creature tokens or treasure. As a 5-drop man,
kind of like what is it, old Rutstein?
Yeah, he's like a red Rutstein. Yeah, no matter what you're gonna, he doesn't mill, he exiles, but very similar. Yeah, depending on what you flip over off the top, you're gonna get some sort of bone. You're gonna get something.
I think he's good. Yeah.
A 5-banger. He's takes a lot to burn up, so you're gonna either need to use black removal. It's not like he's gonna die to a bolt or something like that. He's going to take one of the Sheldred removals, one of like the Nahiri's Warcrafting, to burn up. So pretty beefy guy, and he's also intercepting on the attack. So if somebody attacks him, he's got first strike initially. So 5 on the first strike, he can kill an attacking Sheldred.
Yeah, which I think is solid.
Not bad. He's ramping. He's first striking. He's flying. He's generating tokens. Just a lot here. There's just a lot of cards for 5 mana. If you're running him in any kind of, I think probably you're better off running him in maybe Gruul or Boros, because you're going to want to run a protection card for him because he's a valuable target. Luckily, he's going to be generating tokens every turn. So if you have enough protection, he should generate his own tokens to protect his own mana to protect them. But all around, listen, you can't be mad at a Dino Dragon combo.
I think I love the idea of like, oh, you had 2 non-land cards off the top, but you spent all your mana, so now they're just going to be exiled. But now you get 2 mana back, and now you get to play your removal or your fight spell or whatever. Exactly. Like, so he's basically like giving you a 2-for-1 on cards almost in a way. It's like, hey, if the initial 2-for-1 didn't work out, how about you get another 2-for-1 right after that resolves? You know what I mean? So like he definitely gives you a lot. So I am pretty happy about that. So solid card overall. I think he's like very fair in a lot of ways, like not super broken, but doing a really good job of making things even and like just not being too broken and like, hey, if you don't get this, you still get this, so that's cool, this and that. So yeah, definitely like it. I think that everything is like fair. I think that like what you have to do to get the payoff is reasonable, and it doesn't give you anything too broken, but it's good resources.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. I'm
pretty happy
my next
with
one here.
With that for the high end.
Oh yeah, and I love that he's a dragon dinosaur. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah,
hey, dragons and dinosaurs.
He's literally a Trexodactyl.
Yeah, I like. Yes, he is actually. I like that.
He's literally a Trexodactyl. He's a.
Here's my number 3.
Number 3.
Get lost.
Ooh.
I'm not telling you to go anywhere. Sorry, that's the name of the card. It's 2 mana. It's an instant. It's pretty good white removal. I like my removal. Destroy target creature, enchantment, or planeswalker. Just like amazing modality. Its controller creates 2 map tokens. Okay. That's fine.
And what are the map tokens? What are the new cards that map tokens? What do they do?
So a map token is going to be something that says pay 1 mana and tap it. Sacrifice this artifact. Target creature you control explores. Activate only as a sorcery. So they get 2 of those. Now, what I'm seeing is like, it's pretty good against these decks that like just aren't putting creatures on the board. Or like the only creature that they put on the board is like a Wandering Emperor token that they try to kill you with.
Yeah.
I think for those, you know what I mean? For those purposes, it's pretty cool. And I think that's where we can kind of get into something where it's like, all right, well, we're gonna effectively punish them because now we're just gonna get incredible removal. We're gonna kill their Wandering Emperor. We don't care if they explore with that 2/2 token, whatever. We kill the Wandering Emperor at instant speed for 2 mana. They never had to deal with that before. It almost forces them to have more threats. You know what I mean? Force them to have more actual threats in these control decks, like play actual creatures or play more planeswalkers that give you creatures. And now you're playing like less board. Maybe they're playing less board wipes or they're playing less counter spells, which is great because that allows you to, actually play Magic. So I think it's good,
I mean, the map tokens are nice, but like, man, the ability to destroy any one of those things at instant speed, like, bro, you know what I mean? Like, okay,
all those leyline bindings that they're casting, go on now. I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So and then you have your artifact removal because these the map tokens will be artifacts.
Yeah.
So you run your Brotherhood's End, whatever. It kind of makes mono white control a little better too, but I mean mono white control is like okay.
Yeah,
but
it's always all right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a solid card. I love that. we get instant speed planeswalker removal in white. I think that's
Oh
pretty
yeah. Well, we had Fateful
Yeah.
Absence, which was expected to rotate out, which is I think why
Right.
they made this.
And that gave you a clue,
Yeah.
which is similar to the
Mhm.
map tokens in a sense. So yes, it was probably the replacement for Fateful Absence, most likely. Notably, is this one a rare? I can't.
It is very hard
Look,
to
it's-
tell with this symbol.
Isn't it so hard
They
to
said
tell
look at the
these days?
bottom. They said look at the bottom left. It'll have an L or a whatever.
It does
I
say
can't-
R.
Okay, so that's a rare. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's I don't know. This one they don't put the it's
It's
not
a-
like gold enough or not.
It's a
like
very,
orange
very
enough,
intricate symbol, and I think they realized
Mhm.
that because it's like has a lot of like complex design.
Well, there's like a bunch of lines. I
Yeah,
think
so
that's
it
the
looks
biggest
very
thing.
black. It's hard to see what color is going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on a 32-inch monitor right now, and I can't. And even zoomed in, I couldn't tell.
It's not easy. No,
You
it's
can
not.
kind of see the gold, but it's not. It's not like obvious at all. I'll put it that way. But yeah,
Yeah.
Get Lost, good card. Probably the Fateful Absence replacement, but here we go. Now we have both.
Yeah. So, my number 3 pick coming up is I don't know what it's not a reprint. It would be called, I don't know, a similar card. You know when they take a card that used to exist and then they make another one that's just a little different, but basically the same concept.
Kind of like what I was saying with like Dreadbore and Molten
Exactly. So if you
Okay,
remember,
yeah,
there was
yeah.
a card called Andanto Vanguard.
The Vanguard sounds familiar.
Yeah. So this is basically a different type of also Hollow Blade. It's very similar to that. It's called the Vanguard of the Rose. And it is an uncommon, which is very good. And the thing about Vanguard of the Rose is that it is one of these at will make it indestructible.
Okay.
You need to pay 1, sacrifice another creature artifact. Vanguard of the Rose gains indestructible until the end turn. Tap it. To me, now that doesn't seem very good. Andanto Vanguard used to be you used to have to pay 4 life and would get +4. Hollow Blade, you had to discard a card. This is a little bit more complicated because you have to pay 1 and sacrifice. But I feel like in white, because it is a 3/1 in white and it's only a 2-drop. I feel like having a built-in resistance. We could sacrifice treasure tokens, map tokens, blood tokens. If you're running it in a token creature deck, you have 1/1 human tokens. If you're running like a wedding invitation or something like that, just the ability, the innate ability to always have this thing be indestructible. Even if somebody's going to run a board wipe, well, all your creatures are going to die anyways. You might as well sacrifice whatever to make it indestructible. At will indestructibility has proven to me time and time again to be very, very useful. I think we're going to see a lot of this card. It is maybe the price is too much. I don't know. To activate its indestructibility, we're going to have to see actual gameplay. But I feel like in the theme of those 3/1 indestructibles like Hollow Blade and Andanto Vanguard, those were very good cards. So we're continuing that legacy, and I think we're going to see a lot coming from that. I think it is going to start people, once they kind of figure it out, to get it in the right deck. It's going to be very, very hard. A persistent card that's bad, that only can be exiled. Especially with the mono black being so ascendant and mono red being so ascendant, it's going to be tricky.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's good. Is that an uncommon?
Uncommon.
Yeah, this is you. Okay. Yeah, not bad.
So if you're even playing artisan,
Yeah, definitely a good or draft. I think it's good in draft. I've seen a lot of people say Adanto Vanguard at home.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Adanto, it is Adanto Vanguard. Adanto was 4 life, and that could hurt. That could be potentially dangerous. Hollow Blade, I think.
Pay 4 life?
Yeah, you have to pay 4 life to trigger it. And Seasoned Hollow Blade was, I believe, discard a card. So that one was pretty good.
Yeah,
that was probably more convenient, but I mean, it's not standard anymore. So this is what we're gonna have at home.
Yeah, I like it. It's also nice to say,
And he's a
hey,
vampire.
Yeah, that's cool too, obviously. And then that plays well. We won't say what he is, but it plays nice with another card that we're going to talk about.
A certain
later.
other card, which is just not even. Don't say it's a he. You'll never guess what it is, even with that hint.
Yeah.
Even if we said it's a he, you're not going to figure it out.
It's it's a card that
it's a
like
card
Jay and I thinks is going to be good.
We just think
but,
we think he's cool. I mean, we think it's cool.
Yeah, we think it's a good card, and nobody knows what it is yet.
No,
so.
no, there's no way you could guess what our favorite card is. Don't even try.
Yeah, don't think about it. But yeah, cool card, and then it's nice to have 3 power on the board after a board wipe.
Yeah,
it's coming right at you still.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So yeah, solid card, definitely good in draft. Dies to some easy shit, but he protects himself, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Works for me, Yeah, let me do my number 2. And this was the one that I had to change because Jay's number 2 is we picked the same. Actually, is that your number 2 or is that your number 1?
That's my number 1. That's
Okay.
Yeah, that's my number 1.
Okay. So yeah, this is what I picked as my number 2 in replacement of Jay's number 1. So this one's cool. We have Amalia Benavides Aguirre, and she is a vampire as well. She's white-black, 2/2. She's a legendary vampire. She has the ward pay 3 life. And the text it's interesting. Whenever you gain life, Amalia Benavides Aguirre explores and then destroy all other creatures if its power is exactly 20. So if you have explored 8 times or just made the power of this creature 20 somehow, you can destroy every creature but Amalia. So I think that's pretty cool. And then the life gain is interesting. There's going to be cards that are coming in that are going to play nice with that. She also plays nice with the card that we were just talking about that you're going to find out later that you don't know what it is yet. And yeah, I think she's solid. I think she's a rare. Yeah, Amalia's a rare.
Mm-hmm. Solid 2-drop.
Solid 2-drop. I was telling Jay when I chose it, like I enjoy my white-black mana cost 2-drops historically. Viscopa Guildmage was my all-time favorite back in the day. And then when I got back into Magic, we had Killian. And Amalia is a different variation. She definitely does something different from what the first 2 do. Not quite as similar. It does pertain to life gain, though, which they all kind of always had something to do with life gain. But Amalia's great because it's something fresh, and she's still a good 2-drop. And she has that static ability with the ward. So your Orzhov vampires, if Amalia comes out on turn 2, I think you're off to a fine start. So I definitely like her as a good option. Cheap creature spell to get you going. Hard to remove. Your vampire deck is already going to be taxing their life.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that to remove a 2-drop they have to pay 3 life, when they probably just when they see her, they already get the memo that they're going to be losing life as it stands.
Yeah.
So
if she resolves, there's almost no way to deal with, without losing life.
Yeah, it's like you force them into making those decisions, and maybe she gets to stay on the board, and maybe she's like a 6/6 now, and now they feel like they have to get rid of it. And
all of a sudden, next turn you drop her on turn 3, you drop Phyrexian Fleshgorger on drop her on turn 2, Phyrexian Fleshgorger on 3. Now you have 2 cards that's ward 3 life. Yeah. Now exactly, it's like, man, things are bad. Removal is not good.
Yeah. So definitely, I like the idea of punishing the removal with the paying life thing. Her kryptonite is definitely Ashiok.
Yeah.
Ashiok lights this up. Green lights the shit out of this, but that's 1 card, so that's fine. But yeah, I think Amalia is great. I definitely think that the number 2 I was going to choose was, a little better, but it's Jay's number 1, and it's a hell of a card. So we're gonna find out.
We're gonna keep going. And the fun thing about her is her full name is Amalia Benavides Algueres de las Cruces Garza de la Compasión. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just adding a really long Spanish name.
Oh, yeah, Spanish people have 6 last names.
Oh my goodness. I used to live in Spain, and people you'd call somebody, his name would be Juan, but it would be like Juan Dominguez de la Garza, y Los Cruces, Hidalgo de Buena Vida, and you're like, wow, man, that's amazing.
Yeah,
so fancy. Love it. Love this.
I love it.
Love the Spain last name. Anyways, that's Amalia. She's Vampire Bay. You know, how could we not?
Yeah, she's good. She's good.
So, okay, so that was your number 4. My number 4 is taking another, believe it or not, another dinosaur. I'm actually pretty stoked for a dinosaur, and part of the reason is I think that green may be making a comeback, which I'm excited for because green has been taking it on the chin. But I'm most excited for this because he's really good in Golgari, I think. But anything on a dinosaur deck, and that is the Pugnacious Hammer Skull. Okay, what are we talking about with Pugnacious Hammer Skull?
Oh, this guy.
This guy is power creep incarnate. Everyone's been talking about power creep on this. Back in the day, a 6/6 green card used to cost like 6 or 7. Like we're talking about Crawworm, what was like a 6/6 for 7 mana. This is a 6/6 green dinosaur for 1 green and 2. Ooh, the aggro potential, the Gruul aggro potential of this guy is a lot. The thing about this guy is that whenever he attacks and you don't control another dinosaur, put a stun counter on him. So basically he hits his head. If you don't have another dinosaur, he's bonked his head so hard that he has to be stunned for 1 turn, which is fine. I'm probably going to have another dinosaur. I also love this guy in combination with our good friend Fight Rigging, because he's another great fight rigging target in green. He is a 3-drop fight rigging target that will immediately go to 7 and hit somebody else out. Then now you have your Galta, now you have your Itali, now you have your whatever you want. Even the one you were talking about, your
Gishoth,
Gishoth. So you set him up right. You set up a ramp card, a 1-drop ramp card, put him down on turn 3, or even put him down on turn 2. If you put something like anything that's going to generate 1 mana out the gate, and then put another one, boom, 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 boom. Turn 3, you're already triggering something else. He is just a great dino to put in any kind of dino ramp. He is a big threat on the board. It's not easy for other colors to answer a 6/6 that early on, aside from direct removal.
That's
you know what I mean? If you're playing mono black, they might have Death Touch or some direct removal, but he is just
like he's good. This is what they gave dinosaur lovers. This was their consolation for not reprinting Rotting Regisaur.
Yeah, I miss Rotting Regisaur. We all liked him. He was a dino zombie.
So he has like the downside that might not actually be downside.
No.
If you don't do this, but it's totally, if you don't do it, there's totally a way that benefits you still. So it's like, doesn't matter if you don't do it,
exactly,
things like that. So, you get your high power, but like you said, fight rigging is great with this card. So,
and you don't ever have to attack with him. So he could never get stunned. You could just use him as a solid wall defender. So he only gets stunned out if he attacks. So leave him up as a big boy defender. You know what I mean?
Great draft card. Attacks while you don't control. Just get him in draft. Even if you don't draft another dinosaur, just let him sit there. He's basically a wall.
He's a big boy.
He's a 6/6 wall.
He's a big meaty guy. Also, he's a great fling target too. He's a 6/6 for cheap.
Sure, why not? Yeah, he's the wall that fights back.
You could, and also he's the target of so many resurrection cards. Like if we're talking about Eldraine, Heroic Return, you can return him to the board with a 1/1 counter on him.
That's true. There are some cards. What is it like? They have like 2 mana reanimator cards for
where it's
guy,
like,
right?
hey, if the mana cost is 3 or less, return it to the board immediately, like an unearth.
It was one of them's like can't stay away, and then there's a straight up white one, I think. If I'm not mistaken. So there's some stuff.
There's some stuff to bring him back. So very deadly card. Can interact with a lot of things at that low price right there. So I like him.
All right, that was your number 2, right?
That was my number 2. This is your number 1 before we get to our number 1 card, which is going to surprise all of you. Let me tell you how much it's going to surprise you. I can't reiterate this enough.
And we're each going to do a number 1, and then we're going to have our like collective number 1.
The master card.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So, yes, to begin the number 1ing, mine, and the reason I did this I wanted to go with the board wipe that like seems to be pretty good.
Yeah.
So we're doing Terror Tide. It's a 4 mana. It's a sorcery. Excuse me. 2 black and 2 colorless. It's a board wipe. Fathomless Descent. All creatures get -X until end of turn, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. So that's pretty good. Late games, you know, your opponent's already hitting you with board wipes. They're killing your stuff. You got stuff in the grave. Maybe you're milling. You're doing whatever. Your stuff's dying. You're sacrificing, you know. All right, just going to kill everything. Or maybe we just kill a couple things like mono red. If you have like 2 permanents in the grave and you do like -2/-2 on everything. Or like -3/-2. Like you're going to kill all the mono red stuff. I mean, maybe not your stuff. You know what I mean? So it's fun. I just like that black has a viable board. It felt like the domain one, it just wasn't good enough because we had to play like every other color.
Yeah.
Or play a bunch of, you know, whatever.
We didn't have a full mono black board wipe.
Yeah. And I've been saying like reprint Languish, reprint Languish. This is effectively a Languish reprint, it feels like. So that's pretty cool. And I think it was meant to match the fairness of a card like Path of Peril, where like the cleaving was how you got everything, and now getting stuff in your graveyard is how you hit everything. So it's, you know, otherwise you're hitting like cheaper stuff and lower value stuff, kind of like if you don't cleave Path of Peril. And like you said, that, you know, that they probably made this thinking it would rotate, it would have been rotated out, and that's what they're going to replace it with, you know. And
I feel like, I mean, you always are a big fan of black board wipe. You're like, get them all out of here. I'm not a big board wiper, but Numbskull is very unafraid of sweepers. He likes them.
I'll kill all my shit.
He doesn't care.
I'll take us both out. I don't care.
Yeah, he is a big fan. He's always stacking Path of Peril. He used to be the big your Blood on the Snow. That was your card. That was your
man, what a card, dude. Snowlands, bring him back.
So yeah, a pure black board wipe I think is good. I think in a mill deck this is extremely powerful. If you're doing a Dimir self mill,
I think Dimir
black control
enjoy this. Yeah,
especially Descent, being able to, you know, mill cards or doing other things like that. Self mill, even Golgari self mill, it can really shut down, you know, turn 4, really shut down a mono red even. You know, and set up a nice counterplay. So, and
I love Descent. It just gives me that old school feel as a mechanic. It's just like that kind of back to the roots.
Tell me what Descent is like. Can you explain Descent functionally as a mechanic?
Of course. So Descent is if you have put a card in the graveyard this turn, then then the Descent ability triggers. Now the Fathomless Descent is just, hey, like, how much Descent have you done straight up all game, in the sense of how many permanents are in your graveyard. I don't, let me look up the regular Descent. What was that? I think Molten Collapse was my other one that had it. And that actually explains the ability. You Descented if a permanent card was put into your graveyard from anywhere. So that's noteworthy, be it discarding, be it removal, be it milling, you know what I mean? And it says if a permanent card, it doesn't even say you control. So if like some cards let you take your opponent's cards and then put them in your graveyard when they die, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So like you could actually be putting your opponent's cards in your graveyard. That's a thing. So yeah. They're calling it Dreadmore. I like that.
Ooh,
Dreadmore. Yeah, that's pretty good one. But yes, so that is Descent. And it's cool. And don't forget, it does say card. That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah. So card is important.
Any
you
card.
You don't get to keep track of how many tokens you sacrifice this game and count that towards your Fathomless Descent for Terror Time. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. We're not doing that. So you do have to have the permanent. It has to be a physical card itself. But yeah, I mean, they're basically saying this is effectively, by the time you hit it, it could very well be like a freaking Languish reprint, or whatever, a -3,
Exactly.
-3, -4, -4. Languish was pretty good, but I think it kind of got left out to an extent because it doesn't kill Sholdred, but still, it's good, and the fact that black has a good board wipe for 4 mana, not quite the level of Damnation, but like,
Yeah.
to
Definitely
that
can do a
degree.
lot of damage.
Yeah, and it makes you do the descent thing. So it, you know what I mean? It kind of
adds a new aspect to it.
Yeah, that's a new aspect, and it's like, yeah, it's tough because you don't just like get everything for spending the mana, but like it forces you to do this and that, but in turn there are rewards for doing this and that. So it definitely has its place. I feel like late game it's just always going to be decent as long as you're playing permanents. If you play black, you're probably playing some permanents at least. Probably have like some creatures, planeswalkers, enchantments, whatever, artifacts, this and that. So and then I think there are some that's like, if you put it into your graveyard this turn, like when like some of these cards that say like when it dies, return it back to the battlefield tapped, or not tapped, transformed. I believe in that scenario it goes to the graveyard first, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
So I think there's those random things with cards that like that kind of like, I don't want to say regenerate, but they're like, they keep coming back, be as like a transformed thing, or like as a curse on your opponent. Those things, I think they do go to the grave. Some of them go to the graveyard, so that's something too. Like flipping. I know some of them exile, some of them go to the graveyard. It's like, you know what I mean? They have their wording, so you can kind of trigger the descent that way too. Now the Fathomless does require that the card itself be in your graveyard as you cast it, notably, but triggering the descent ability itself. Yeah, I mean that in some instances that could be from a card transforming if it dies, so that's cool too, if it dies or is removed, I should say. So just I think there's going to be ways to play off of this and play around with the rules and maybe do some broken stuff with descent.
I think it's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be fun.
So definitely happy about that mechanic
for sure.
Well, that's my number one.
My number one, which I
think it's time for yours.
Greedily stole from you.
Yeah.
Let me pull the mic. This
Totally
is one of those.
worth it.
This is one of those you have to kind of you can't say it loud. You have to kind of whisper it into the mic. You have to say, "Bloodletter of Aklazots."
Yeah.
Bloodletter. Oh my goodness. Vampire Demon. Have you ever had a more lovelier combination of letters, of words in Magic the Gathering? Vampire Demon. It is 4 black and 1 Vampire Demon, 2/4 flying. This is the effect.
3 black and 1, right?
3 black. I'm sorry, yeah, 3 black and 1. Okay. So it's a 4-drop. Rivaling Sheldred for the 4-drop spot. If an opponent would lose life during your turn, they lose twice that much life instead. And what it has in parentheses here, damage causes loss of life.
Yes.
So if you damage an opponent or make them lose life equal to 10, they lose 10 more life.
Or if you make them lose life and then you do combat, add it together.
Yeah.
And then do it again.
Whatever damage that they take, they are taking double damage from everything.
This is like, I feel like this is why they banned Invoke Despair. This is the real reason.
Oh yeah, because you would make somebody lose 12 life.
12 life, draw 3 cards. You're gonna die next turn because I drew another one.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, yeah. And now you're looking at Amelia Buenavidas, and you're saying to yourself, if you want to stop me, if you want to play an instant on my turn, it's going to cost you 6 life.
Oh, they have to pay for the ward.
Yeah, for the ward. If they want to kill it off turn, if they want to kill it on my turn for whatever reason, it's going to cost them 6 life.
Is paying life considered losing life?
Yes.
Okay.
Anytime that your life total goes down,
You've lost it.
You've lost it. Yeah. You lose life if they try to use a pain land. If they use a pain land as an instant, they're going to cost 2.
1 damage.
That's 1 damage. Guess what? That's now 2 damage. This is going to get out of control very, very fast. This is going to be one of those like Sheldred on site. You got to get rid of it or the game is going to go real bad.
Because she makes Sheldred 4.
Yeah.
And
Sheldred's
then
4. Yeah.
Yeah, Sheldred's 4 now. And then this card's a flyer too. So not to mention as a creature in the combat steps, it is evasive to begin with, which means it's incredibly likely for that 2 to turn into 4. So this is an effective. You're losing 4 life every turn. Phenomenal. And this one is a mythic, correct, Jay?
This is, I believe, this is a mythic rare. Yes.
Okay. Is it a legend? It's not a legendary.
It's not. You can have multiple of these.
Oh my god, man!
You can have multiple of these.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Can you imagine also historic and veto? So whenever you gain life, you could gain 4 life. They lose 4 life, and then they lose 8 life.
Lose 8. Yeah.
Oh
turn
my
3.
God. Oh.
Veto. Turn 4. This.
Yeah. It's
unreal.
Bad. It's bad.
Unreal.
Yeah. Turn 5 swing board. Gain the life. They lose the life. They lose the life again. Like this is, and it's in the vampire tribal too. So historic, explore. I mean, anything that there's vampires and life gain and life loss. It is not going to go well for you. It's not going to go well for you.
Whenever I look at it on Mythic Explorer, they have what's called the thesaurus under each card. So there's another one. It's called Wound Reflection. It is a 6-drop enchantment, but it says, beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn.
Yeah.
So there's another card that does that ability.
Yeah.
Basically. But it's a 6 mana enchantment. And now we're talking about giving you a creature that
for 4.
For 4, you were giving you like a double. And I mean, I think that 6 mana enchantment's already halfway decent. I think at 6 mana it's a little Windmore-y, but for 4 mana, this I don't even think this is Windmore. I think this is like we're gonna start to fully get the engine going that kills you. It's not gonna be like too much towards the late game.
And you gotta think that you could save a bunch of those, what are they called? Hopeless Nightmares.
And cast them like the next turn.
You could cast 2 Hopeless Nightmares. They're gonna lose 8 life.
8 life. Yeah, off 2 mana.
For 2 black mana, bro. Like, come on.
And then if you swing, it's 12.
Yeah, come on, man. That's ridiculous.
That's sick.
That is pain. That is pure black right there. It is pain. It is beautiful. We love to see it.
Yeah, it's what we're looking for.
It's what we're looking for.
And isn't the card that nobody knows about that we're gonna do next that plays nice with this one too?
It does, yes. If we're talking demons and vampires, not to give you too big of a hint of the card that we're talking about.
Not that this card might be one or both of those, but
no, that's
no,
not that we're gonna reveal it right now or anything. So,
and so I mean, well, that card the card that you just read makes me that much more excited for our number 0.
Do we have any honorable mentions, or already did our honorable mention with Baby Galta?
I did like the baby.
Yeah.
I also like the new removal about you pay 3 life or discard a card.
Yeah, that's not bad. There was a couple honorable mentions. Yeah.
I like that out with Ashiok.
Okay.
Just exile the top 3 cards of your library, and then you get removal for 2 mana. Instead of the losing life that Infernal Grasp gives you, it gives you the option, or you could discard something. If you discard, it triggers, and it's a permanent, it triggers Descent.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So I think I enjoy that. There's a way to make it good, but there's a lot of ways where it could be bad.
Resplendent Angels being reprinted, bringing that up.
Yeah,
that's fun. I always like that in Life Gain. And there's another angel that I really liked. I was on the fence about him. It's actually a common card. I think that I'm gonna have to see how it plays, to see if it's actually any good.
2 mana 4/4.
Yeah, you have to tap 4 other Guardian of the Great Door. You have to tap 4 other things. I feel like in a token deck, it's plausible. I feel like if you have a lot of artifacts for tokens, it's not bad. If you're having treasures or blood tokens, or I don't know, I feel like it's not too bad, especially for a 4/4 flyer. We'll have to see. I was on the fence about it, so that's one of my honorable mentions as well.
Okay, yeah.
But enough talk.
Oh man,
we have to bring up our number 1 card, which you guys are not going to guess at all. You're going to be blown away when you hear what we're excited for.
Can I read it?
You can read it.
Thank you. Okay. All right, guys. So we have said multiple times that we wanted a reprint of the card. And I would say that we got maybe the next best thing. And depending how it plays out, it could be a better thing. But nonetheless, we got another veto. And that is what Jay and I wanted. We wanted to see veto in some capacity this set. This version is Veto Fanatic of Aklazatz. So he's 2 mana, white-black. He is a legendary vampire demon. No, not a cleric this time, notably. So there's been some character development, I imagine. And he's a flyer now because of the demon status, I guess.
Yeah.
So we have like a lot of vampire demons at this point. And he's a 4/4 flyer for 4. So by default, decent. And then, and he's a mythic and he's legendary. We're going to say now he has, basically he lights up all the sacrifice. All the sacrifice that we were talking about doing, all that shit. He's going to be your payoff value engine for this. So, and he's like a build-up. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, you gain 2 life. If this is the first time that it has resolved. If it's the second time, each opponent loses 2 life. So now Jay's previous card makes that 4 life. If it's the third time, create a 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. Notably, it doesn't say during your turn. It doesn't say you can't do it on your opponent's turn. All kinds of shit. So there's theoretically you could actually be making 4/3 tokens on your opponent's end step that are ready to swing at them the next turn.
If you can sacrifice 3 permanents, yeah.
Yeah, if you have the outlets to do so. We would like to think that there are a good bit of outlets for that. And then if you run this with Descent, I think you're going to be having a good time. Personally.
Remember, you have to sacrifice treasure to play it. That's a permanent being sacrificed.
Yeah. Yeah, you could sacrifice a treasure. You could sacrifice...
blood tokens.
Yeah, you could sacrifice blood tokens. You could...
bargain.
Sacrifice. Yeah. Now there's bargaining, so we're gonna light that up. We also have... what is it? Staff of Completion. Pay 1 mana to... Well, I guess that's not... I think it's destroying. It's not sacrificing, is it? So I actually might not count. There is the Anvil if you want to play Mardu. You know, that's a thing. There are sack outlets, and then I think you said you had that 3/1 vampire. Pay
exactly.
1 mana.
He sacrifices.
Yeah, so he's great, and you know he's gonna let you do that 1 mana each time. So you're effectively turning like 2, 0 mana value artifacts and like maybe a creature that they tried to remove, and you're gonna effectively turn that into a 4/3.
So the funny thing about Vanguard of the Rose, as long as you have mana to play, you can keep sacrificing things, because he gets tapped when he gets indestructible and gets tapped. But as long as you have mana to play, you can keep sacrificing stuff to him as much as you want.
It's like the Immersturm Predator.
Exactly. So you could just you could play 3, sacrifice 3 things. He'll have indestructible 3 times, so it doesn't really matter. He'll trigger the veto. And you could do that on the off step. So if you have 3 mana, you sacrifice 3 things to him, trigger it 3 times. Yeah. Don't forget braids. We got braids in here. You go real well with.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's a really good point too. Yeah. Braids. Braids is there, and then I think there's another
Ayara.
vampire. Ayara, yeah, Ayara is good. There's another vampire that we didn't mention. Bartolome del Presidio. Sacrifice another creature or artifact, but it'll give him +1/+1 counter. And there's no mana. There's no mana to do it.
It's free. Yep.
He's an uncommon white-black. Just a straight-up outlet for Vito. Just lights it up. Vampire Knight.
And he gets 1/1 counters each time you do it.
He's a vampire for a reason. So you're talking about adding 3 1/1 counters and then getting a 4/3 demon, and you gain 2 life and made your opponent lose at least 2 life.
Yeah. And also he's got some pretty hard flavor text of bless this sinner who sacrificed blood so that I may live.
Oh, do I have the flavor text on mine, dude? Do I not have that?
That's almost as good as through the blood of the wicked we shall be redeemed.
That's Vito's, right?
Yeah, this guy Bartolome is on a similar vein, no pun intended.
Wait, you're saying that's Bartolome's
flavor text, yeah.
Oh, okay. Is there flavor text for Vito?
No, he's got a wall of text on his fucking card, so he doesn't.
Yeah, I saw that. Here, let me see. Sometimes they still have it. You just have to like search for it.
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't think he has flavor text, unfortunately.
No, he doesn't.
That sucks, because that was definitely always an opportunity to put some fun stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of cards with him on it, either in the artwork or in the story on him. So there's a lot of stuff we're getting about Vito.
Did you buy the arena bundle with his stuff in it?
I did. I'm not a drafter, so I didn't really want it. But damn, I mean, I might have to.
I was like, screw it. Yeah, I was like, screw it. I'm doing it.
Tempted.
And then I didn't buy the 50 packs.
Oh, I bought the 50.
I bought the season pass, whatever you want to call it, and the 25 this time, and I figured I'm just gonna draft up as much as I can, and then like get my stuff that way, and then use wild cards on the stuff that whatever, and I'll try to like semi free to play it,
Okay.
So we'll see.
Well, that was the surprise, guys. Vito's back. If you don't know, now you know. We're excited for him.
We're hyped. Looks like Vito's going for like $5. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. So
you could I mean, hey, this guy's a commander.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's easy.
Dude could be a commander, as a 4/4, a little harder to remove than the older Vito, so that's cool.
Doesn't die to cut down.
Yeah. And then, but still also not too high of a mana value to make it like not worth it to cast them a few times a game, So I'm definitely enjoying that. I think that's awesome. Love to see him back. Incredibly excited.
Oh yeah.
And I am also, I don't know if they did it yet, but I am highly interested in any alternate art for this card too.
I haven't seen any. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it either, unfortunately. So, yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see if anything unique comes out. Because I thought there was, if you go to the main page of it, they have a section that's all like the fancy art, and I don't know if Vito's in that.
I haven't seen it. If it is,
I know there's a lot of the reprints are in there. Those are what is this shit right here? These might be like the commander cards or like the list cards. There's okay, so here's Bartolome. That's Amalia. The Amalia one looks kind of cool. She looks very scholar. Oh, here he is. I found it. I'm gonna
send it to me. I'll put it up in the video.
Yeah, because whenever I click on it, it just takes me back to the to like the regular art. So I have to snip it. I have to snip the art for you, but I'll totally do that.
Yep.
Here we go. Send it to you on Discord real quick. I think you'll like it. It's pretty sick.
Oh, it's gonna be great. Really looking forward to the set. I don't think Eldraine. Oh yeah, he looks like his original art with his hands up in the air.
Yeah, it's because he's like on the ground and it's like in like a place of worship kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I definitely like that.
Definitely, I think gonna have a lot better effect than Eldraine. I think we're gonna see a bigger change in the meta. I think there's going to be a lot more. There's a lot more bombs in this one. I think it's going to be a much more fun set. I kind of suffered through.
Still suffering.
Still suffering. So, but
yeah.
That's our top 10, boys. 10 or 11 boys and ghouls.
Boys and ghouls, I like that. Yeah, we have some good ones. Maybe another honorable mention are some of these caves. I think there's going to be some cave synergy.
Definitely look at some cave synergy. We don't have enough time for everything. If you want to see more, if you want to see some more deck builds, let us know. Leave a comment. Join the council. Tell us.
Yes, for sure. We will be making decks for early access, and Jay and I usually
we try to do an early access.
Like, we do that, and then come to our respective channels. We usually make decks on our own as well.
Of course, yeah. I'm gonna do a preview deck as well.
Yeah, preview deck. I think we both have AetherHubs that we post that stuff on.
Yeah,
I love the visual that you got. I post mine on Goldfish too, but I love being able to look at the visual of all the cards on
laid out.
On AetherHub. I like the layouts that you get and just the like portability into Arena. So that's cool for me. So yeah, definitely gonna have some stuff going up on AetherHub soon for you guys. We'll be sharing stuff in the Discord.
And our Twitch is right down there, twitch.tv/thatvillainj, twitch.tv/numbskull. It's been going across the whole video.
The whole time. You get to see it on both of our Twitches. You will see me streaming more now that this is coming out. And I know that a lot of people say that I haven't been streaming as much. That is true. But I am very much interested in Magic again after these cards.
Oh, yeah. So, it's got me hyped.
Yeah. So I know it was like Jay said, we suffered through it. I've kind of been, lacking interest in Magic lately. And I think people can tell. But I think this is gonna definitely get me back in there. There's a lot of good mechanics that Jay and I are really fond of, and there's Veto. So that's what was in Magic when I got back into it and fell in love again, and now he's back, and I'm ready to fall in love for the third time.
Oh yeah, I am too.
So
I'm gonna run that double Veto historic too, so be ready for that.
Gotta do it, man. Gotta do it. I'm very excited for it. Well, yeah, that's all we have this time. Maybe a lore for the next episode. That's actually quite possible, because if we do the lore, then we could do the lore, and I guess it all depends on when we get the episodes out. That's gonna be relevant too.
That's gonna be out too. So we'll do it in that in that time.
Yeah. So yes, we will have stuff. We will have the videos, and we'll get the early access stuff up as soon as we can. We might do like one where one comes out like 6 days after the other or something like that. We might have to do that to line it up the right way. Jay and I will figure that out. But yeah,
we'll figure it out.
We're gonna try to get hopefully lore and early access to you guys here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So
stay tuned. It'll be early. If you're a patron, you'll get it early.
Yeah, you get to watch it early. You get to watch it before others do. You got to be talking about it. And then the patrons will also have our lists before anyone else too. So keep that in mind.
Keep it up. We are here. We're doing it. It's coming up. Get ready. Get hyped. We're doing it.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, from us in the council, we're going to call this session of the council to a close. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, let us know what you think. We are out of here. Good night, everyone.
See you guys.